Thank you very much, Esham, for the nice introduction. I'm the Managing Director of Cumulocity, one of the early application development platform providers. And I'd like to talk a bit about some stuff we are doing related to real-time streaming analytics. I think that's it's emerging quite important new capability we're seeing in many of the IoT projects, and I took some examples with me today. Good, let's get started. Quick words about the company Cumulocity. I'm not sure if you've been coming across Cumulocity. We are actually a spin-off from Nokia Siemens Networks, and we started to develop a cloud-based software platform already in 2010, so 5.5 years ago. So since quite some time in the market, and we spun off that business and relocated it back to Germany. So we're a German-based software company. We originated in California, in Mountain View, in 2012, and today we are about 50 people, more than 100 customers globally, and we have a very large developer community utilizing our cloud-based software solution. I guess some analysts, some people call us one of the leading independent IoT platform providers. What they really mean with independent is that we are really dedicated software company focusing on IoT platform as a product, and we are selling actually a software product into the market through partnering model. Giving you some more introduction about Cumulocity. That's my actually last slide about Cumulocity, and then I will dive into the topic. But it's really a global run business right from the beginning, and some of our partners and customers utilizing the software as a white labeled edition and operating and managing the software in their own data centers. So that led into a situation where we are, Cumulocity software is today run on 5 continents in close to 20 different data center environments, including telco carriers, obviously. Many of our partners are actually telecommunication providers utilizing the software, and I would like to use that as an example how what exactly they're doing in the later part. And sorry, there's something went wrong with the graphics on the right side. Example are Deutsche Telekom Group, TeliaSonera, Telstra in Australia, Etisalat Group, and all of them have actually taken the software, running that into their own data center, branded it with their brand, and are selling it towards the enterprise customers. In addition, we have a global partner network which is growing just today. Actually, yesterday at the Hannover Trade Fair, we had a joint press release with Cisco Jasper, 11 o'clock in the morning yesterday, and we announced our partnership with Cisco Jasper on the simplification of IoT and industrial Internet of Things. Actually, I will exactly cover that topic about simplification today, my remaining part of the speech. Other examples of partners are system integrators, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, Infosys, but also technology partners like Sapir or field force management companies who are offering already today very sophisticated field force software, and they're adding Cumulocity IoT capabilities in order to make that service a smart service towards their customers. Good, so moving forward. Asset management and tracking in real time with M2M and IoT Cloud. Let me take a couple of examples. For example, I mentioned Deutsche Telekom Group is using our software in Europe for their own product. They're offering it named Cloud of Things, and they're targeting directly enterprise customers with that. And it's powered by Cumulocity. And how they use the software, I have a couple of examples of reference cases. Let's say, they target mainly Mittelstand, so small, medium-sized enterprise in Germany, but also larger enterprises. And what they do is actually they have created an own hosted software as a service edition of Cumulocity, own branded, And now they are getting quite successful into the market with connecting many enterprises and enabling them to Industry 4.0 cases. This part here, this case is about a steam generator manufacturer. So it is a steam generator used, for example, in hospitals to sterilize equipment, or in factory floors. Wherever you need steam, they're selling that machine worldwide, globally. And they did actually a predictive maintenance enhancement on that for serving customers around the globe. And they're selling on top of Telecom's Cloud of Things, they are selling predictive maintenance to the end customers. So that means actually you're getting into a situation where you already have a chain of different people involved in your business model. You have us as a software platform provider. Then you have Telecom as running a cloud offering. And then you have actually the company who is producing this machinery, in this case, company is called Certus, who are selling their machinery combined with the Cloud of Things of Telecom towards their end customers. And for that, obviously, you need to have a multi-tenant, multi-hierarchical capability in your cloud platform. Something very important going forward for many of our partners and customers. Another example is the company Hooptex, again, a customer of Telecom. And they are doing also predictive analytics, but also some logistic applications running on top of the cloud environment. Another example is remote monitoring of a rack supplier who's supplying actually cooling equipment for racks, one of the largest worldwide. They're doing monitoring of cooling systems and also predicting out of some algorithm the condition of racks and hardware. If the hardware produces too much heat, they can predict actually problems going forward with specific server hardware. Another example is, I think, a well-known container tracking. I guess here it's a bit more including the condition of the container, etc. But nothing really rocket science, but you need high scalable, easy to deploy software as a service in order to serve these customers on the global base. So now coming back to my topic, these are some examples, what they're doing with our software, and we have many more, obviously. But what is really the key to success? What have we seen our partners being successful with, for example, Cumulocity software? And I know that is maybe surprising to many of you, but it's really a lot to do about simplification. When I'm thinking about the last 5.5 or 6 years with Cumulocity, I think we always undervalued simplification in what we are doing and how we are introducing products to the market. And that's something we have been refocusing since 2.5 years. And I would like to go with you on a step-by-step approach what simplification really means in an IoT project. Let's start with the integration of machines and things. So in a way, most of the IoT projects are taking longer. The pilots, the proof of concepts, it takes always longer than you anticipate. Why is that actually? What's the reason for it? One major component of that is the physical rollout requirements, the physical implementation requirements for these projects. If it would be purely software as a service, I think it would be much easier to roll out globally these projects. But at the end of the day, Internet of Things has to do with things, so you have to connect things. And here comes then the problem. If you cannot make that very simple, you have to train your field employees to set up configurations on site with laptops, VPNs, etc., it will constrain the overall rollout and it will actually add another massive cost burden to your projects. And it's simply then a question of business case if that would still fly or not. What we have been doing, we have innovated on that for the last years, and we came up with a concept we call Cloud Field Bus. And what the Cloud Field Bus enables you is actually to plug and play almost any industrial equipment. So we actually communicate that you can add almost 80 to 85% of all the equipment out there, you can add into the cloud field post concept, and you have actually a plug-and-play experience in terms of streaming the data into the cloud and starting to visualization and analyzing it. What it also does, it simplifies the rollout fundamentally, because you don't have to configure anything anymore on site. You just need to add the modem. If the modem is not available, on site you plug it into one of the field bus protocols, for example, Modbus, CAN bus, OPC-UI, Profibus, etc. You plug it in one of the interfaces, and your machine is immediately auto-provisioned and available in your account in the cloud. And that's, I think, a very important part of the simplification journey. We have to take actually the whole industry further and even optimize that, what is already quite simplified. But if you compare that again with how often or how rollouts happening sometimes today, with setting up own VPNs, setting up own configurations, trying to do protocol mappings on site, data schema mappings on site, there is quite a constraint in your rollout environment. With that concept, you're centralizing it and you're automating it through a cloud concept. Next part of simplification is, of course, you need then immediately to be able to do something with your machine if you connect it. Otherwise, your customers, or you will be just simply disappointed. And therefore, it's very important to have a controlling element. We call it Iot Device Management, out of the box, immediately available as an application which can be immediately used. So you connect the thing and you can immediately do controlling commands to the machine. And one additional simplification on that is, it is dynamic from a UI perspective. So we have thought a lot about that. Because if you are, as a horizontal cloud platform provider, serving many different verticals, you have various different complexities. I remember discussions we had with KUKA Robots. KUKA Robots is a company, one of the leading robotic companies, especially strong in the automotive industry. And they have very different parameters, very different configuration settings than a variable or a simple tracker or a UBD2 dongle for usage-based insurance and so on. So you have a very different concept you need to adapt to when you introduce a horizontal platform. And we do that through a ready-made application in our platform, which is called Device Management for controlling things, but it has a dynamic user interface. That means basically we only see functionalities in the whole feature set which is applicable to your particular use case or your device you're connecting. For example, there can be firmware upgrade or software upgrade capabilities as an option, but if your device or your use case is not supporting that, you will not see that in the user interface. So it's really adaptive, and we call it actually dynamic and adapts to the specific use case. So again, a simplification in terms of using the tool for the end user. Another part is the big data streaming analytics. So you can have actually analytics as an open environment with an open developer tool, let's say an IDE, so integrated development environment. However, if you offer that, you cut out the majority of your end users because they will not be able to use it really. And they will rely on you as a supplier of that software solution to adapt always specific requirements. So you're creating a bottleneck in the whole chain of your ecosystem, of your partner network, which you don't really want in today's world. So our answer to streaming analytics is that, yes, we do have a streaming analytics engine, but we typically do not expose the developer environment. It's optionally there, yes, you can use it if you want, but we don't expose it because we believe that you have to have simpler tools in today's software environment, and we call them smart rules. Smart rules are like mini wizards, and with the smart rules, we have many different smart rules. You can create your own streaming analytics rule for your business case and your requirements. And by the way, after a presentation or later on today, I'm also happy to show some of the stuff. I'm around with some of my colleagues, and if you want to get a live demo of what it really means, happy to do so. But again, back to the topic, simplification. So the streaming analytics simplified with a UI-animated wizard who helps the end user to create their rule, their specific business rule or analytics requirements. Then another part of the journey here is, of course, visualization. That's a lot requested, and here it's dashboarding tool as part of the platform. I guess there's nothing really completely new about that. I mean, it's easy to use, and it's you can position wherever widgets you want on your dashboard, and then you save it, and that's then your default dashboard. It's easily done, no software coding. I think what is particularly interesting with the concept we have taken is that it is actually extensible. So it's not just just an UI experience, and you configure it as an end user, but it's also very easily extensible in the same way as, for example, you extend your web browser. Let's say Firefox is calling it add-ons, or Google is calling it plugins, as we do. So it's a user interface, it's a seamless experience, and you are able to plug in functional requirements into the user interface to really turn a horizontal platform, which gives you 80% of the use case, in some cases. In many cases, it gives you more. But let's say there's something missing, and it gives you a possibility to extend within the user interface framework a plug-in so that it's a seamless experience for your end user. And that, again, simplifies the experience for your end user. As taking an example, we discussed about the steam generator. The steam generator needs a specific user interface to do some controlling with the generator, switching on some valves, switching on some temperatures, turning things, etc. If you want that remotely controlled, in our concept, you just add a small widget developed with web tools, so no specific tool required, no proprietary environment. It's AngularJS web tools, really millions of developers using. And you do just a widget for the components, for the parts which is missing to your use case, and off you go. It's seamlessly integrated in the user interface. Next part, it's also an option here, is the simplification on the IT integration. Of course, many customers have integration requirements, and they have existing IT. And it wouldn't be smart not using them continuously with adding IoT-related information. Obviously, you should use them and you should enhance them and not re-engineer or redevelop the wheel. What we do here is, again, a piece of simplification is that we are working with technology partners to do what we call SaaS, or software as a service automation integration. Without software coding, we are able actually to connect Cumulocity APIs with more than 500 software as a service cloud services out there in the market without software coding. It's not API to API talking, it's a user interface, and you can actually combine the information, any single data point you collect in Cumulocity, combine that with other software as a service solutions. Might it be Salesforce, SAP, Zendesk for trouble ticketing, or whatever type of software as a service is used. Again, what does it mean? It simplifies the way you can roll out or deploy IoT solutions for your market. So the whole steps we went through in terms of how you utilize a modern platform environment will then eventually end up into a platform environment. We or many of our partners branding for their own customer requirements. And it's, in a sense, it's an IoT platform which has device management, but also the application platform capabilities fully integrated and easily made available for end customers to roll out IoT projects. We have now actually went on a journey related to that simplification, and we will continue to invest into simplification. The first statement here is quite amazing. If I remember doing first proof of concepts in 2010, it's not too long ago, 5.5 years ago, it took us weeks to have a prototype ready in the IoT field. And today, actually, we are making a promise to say that you can create your SaaS offering in minutes. I mean, this is a massive change. And I believe that type of simplification is in reality needed in order to meet the glorious forecast of analysts in the market. If we cannot change how we do M2M or Internet of Things projects and fundamentally cut out complexity and simplify, we will not be able to meet actually the forecast requirements or the forecast by analysts. Again, virtually no software coding for that simplification needed. It also simplifies a lot the go-to-market of our partners, because for them it's like a product, a SaaS approach. So it's not, in many cases, it's not a system integration-led, consultative-led engagement. It can be made much easier available. Provisioning a customer takes a minute, and you have a product ready for showing and actually also for piloting if you want to pilot. As I mentioned, I think one of the most important parts of that simplification journey we discussed is the rollout, is the physical rollout. Fully underestimated complexity related to rolling out, for example, a machine manufacturer selling 10,000 machines globally, and now they want to create a smart product, the predictive analytics or supply chain automation or remote management control on top of that. How do they connect the existing fleets is underestimated challenge for them. If they have something like a simple plug-and-play capability, it's exactly what is actually helping them to make the business case work. Simplification with IT operations, if you have a centralized cloud environment, that's of course coming from the cloud concept, data management support as well. User interface, I think I touched it a lot. I believe today's user interfaces have to improve, ours as well. There's a continuous improvement, continuous journey in improving the user interface. But the vision of Cumulocity is that we want to empower the end user, so not the partners in between, but really the end user to configure the system themselves, to make most out of the technology, so that we want to avoid bottlenecks in between the sales process or the partner channel and really enable the end user to configure and deploy their own IoT solution themselves. And of course, simplification also means a scalable business model, that you can start with a few, you can try it out, and you can grow to millions. And that is also a very important part, obviously, of a simplification. I think there's no secret to say that you can create a prototype in a few weeks for your specific customer case. But when it comes to real global rollouts, or also large national rollouts for that matter, there is actually a massive difference, and we have seen actually quite a few, I would say during the last 18 months, quite a few replacement opportunities emerging, which I feel is quite interesting. I haven't thought about that, but a lot of companies who started IoT and M2M projects many years ago, and they are reaching a certain, let's say, a certain wall with their own developed or system integrated systems, and they want now to utilize a product approach in order to overcome some of the challenges. Good, so last but not least, our main go-to-market as Cumulocity is through partnering. So we have actually a strong partner ecosystem. I mentioned Cisco announcement yesterday at the Hanover Trade Fair, last week Fieldforce company, Astea, but many more. And obviously I would be very happy to have additional partners who believe in a very open approach, open APIs, openly documented, and a joint journey to simplify IoT solutions. Thank you very much.